Hey guys, what's up? It's Caution, aka Meatball of Atlantis, bringing you another instance guide today. Today we will be doing World Tree, which is a quite useful instance if you're planning on getting F protects for fortifying your gear, or perhaps getting deity through the various quests that you can get through World Tree for deity. Now, World Tree scales with your level, so the mobs in here will actually spawn depending on the base group level, much like Jail or Energy Well or DI, or one of those events where the mobs actually scale with you. The World Tree is one of those. And the damage actually that a lot of the mobs do is based on your HP, and as well as some heals that you get from the mobs in here are all based on HP. Anyways, you'll see that we're in the first room, and we're actually trying to be really careful in here because unlike every other instance so far, the trash mobs in here are actually pretty beastly and can mess your party up if you pull too many at the same time. So there are actually other NPCs in here that are actually on your side. They're going to keep the flames aggro on them until you're ready to pull the flames yourself, because the flames are, once again, pretty beastly. If you pull a good number of them, it can't take your party down. So do go through that slowly with your party, and, you know, nothing wrong with killing one at a time. And once you do down all of them, the door will open up to the next room. And on your left, you're going to see this awesome crystal right here. This is like the heal guy in Atlantis, except you don't have to pay him anything. Or the crystal, you don't have to pay the crystal anything. So you can just drag mobs back here and spam that button as much as possible so you don't die. And I guess I should mention, if you do happen to die, you will not spawn in town or Atlantis. You will actually spawn at the start of the instance. So if you do die, just run up to this crystal and get your HP back and run back into the fight. So right, this first room, we are actually collecting water essences from these water elementals that we're taking down. And you need a certain amount to fill up this huge container that you'll see in a second. And once you have that filled up at 100, you will be able to move on to the next room. Alright, I'm just going to skip ahead here a little bit to after we kill a lot more of those water elementals. And those water elementals do keep respawning, by the way. So once you do have 100, be sure to run through the door and kill any remaining elementals that follow you through. And then that'll bring you on to the next part of this wonderful instance. Okay, and now you're at a hallway, I guess, with some butterfly looking things, and you're gonna want to kill the one named I guess they're moths, so you're gonna want to kill the one named Dancing Moth, because it does an AoE heal similar to the level 85 healer ability that we have. So take those down first so that it doesn't heal the rest of the ads. They look more green rather than brown. And then I like to save my XP during this hallway, and you should probably tell your party to do that as well, because you do need it for the boss coming up. As long as you focus down the Dancing Moth, this hallway will be pretty easy. Just make sure not to pull too many, and once again, load up your XP for the boss fight. Okay, just gonna fast forward to the end of this tunnel slash passway, or whatever you want to call it. Anyways, once you do down all the ads in this area, a big moth will spawn in the center of this circle, and we'll see him here. He is the first boss, and he is pretty beastly and scary, so we'll see what we can do. Okay, and here is the large moth boss. I don't know what his actual full name is. I can't see with this resolution. Anyways, the first thing you're going to want to know about this boss is that you're going to want to stand in the campfires in this yellow circle or gold circle that you see around him that he spawns, because he gets a defense buff, the type of defense where you only really do damage against him if you crit or do Holy Strike. You see my pet doing 160 there, 156. So I drag my pet over to the campfire with myself, and now he's doing 10k. So a huge difference there. You're going to want to stay in those campfires as much as you can to get a nice damage bonus on that boss. And now in a second, 4 ads will spawn, and it's very important that your whole group either knows if they're XPing or using their pet AoE. So what I like to do is tell my group to use their XP on the first wave, and then use their pet AoE on the second wave. So I didn't have my XP, so I had to use my pet AoE on the first wave, and all of them go down. We don't get hit too hard by that AoE. And on the second wave now, I don't think I get my XP in time. I might, but yeah, I do. And if I didn't get that off, we would have probably all died. So you see, the more HP slash the more mobs that are alive out of those 4 moths, the worse it is for your party. So you're going to want to save your XP and your pet AoE for those 4 mobs that spawn. So you're going to see now 2 more mobs that spawn, the healing type. I'm going to pull one over so it can't heal the other one and the boss. And the rest of my party is going to want to kill... actually, it got taunted, it looks like, unfortunately. Try and warn your tank not to AoE taunt right when you're pulling that away. So one person's going to want to pull that one away while the rest of the party kills the second small moth, and then get back on the boss. And that's about the whole fight. By the time you get through all of those things, the boss fight will be almost over. And just going to continue. Hopefully we get some F protects 4 and 5. But yeah, hugely important, guys, that you get those 4 large moths down, or else you will die in one shot if your party does not know it has to focus them down. Okay, and now we are at the next boss that only spawns on Saturday. So this boss is right after the moth boss to the left, instead of going down the normal path to the right. We will, you started by killing these larvas. They actually do kind of hit hard, so make sure your tank does round them up and keep them on him, because they hit for like 1.3k. And the thing is, every time you kill 1, 2 spawn, and it keeps doing that, it keeps multiplying up for a while until the actual main boss spawns, and you'll see that in a few seconds. You'll see how many we actually get up to. It's kind of scary. Just be careful. I know different gear levels and stuff, you might not have enough defense to actually tank that. And I actually get way too many on myself in this run. I was being a bit overzealous with my AoEs and got too many mobs on myself there. Luckily the tank did taunt up and get them off me. But yep, you keep just DPSing them down until you see the moth spawns. And we do as much damage to that moth as possible. There's really not much to know about this boss fight other than the boss gets a shield, and you gotta kill the moth illusions that it spawns to get that shield down. There's no point in DPSing the boss while it has its shield up. You'll do like really small, like 150 damage, really tiny damages. My pet's even doing 1 at this point. So you just DPS down the illusions until it spawns more illusions, then you kill those again, and then you finish the boss up. Pretty easy fight. A nice chance to get some extra loots slash deity from the Saturday deity quest that you can buy with alms that you should be checking out. So yep, fairly easy. I'm going to fast forward a bit because there's not really any more boss mechanics to this fight. It's basically just rinse and repeat what you just saw. You just shoot it until it spawns ads and gets a shield, and then kill the ads, and then kill it. Okay, boss is finally about to go down. Let's see what we got there. Some nice loots. Fat loots. Penance on its way up. Or a deity, rather, not penance. And gonna make it through to the next tunnel now. And this would be the direction you would go if it was not Saturday, right after defeating the moth boss. Another one of those awesome crystals, and then you're gonna want to talk to this Janice NPC, which gives you an awesome buff, and you look pretty cool. You got a backpack and a face mask and all that shenanigans, and you get to go kill these mobs. And they do a normal AoE for about 1,000 damage, and then when they die, they do about 5k. Now, it's important you keep that little mechanic in mind because these actually spawn in the last boss fight, and you don't want to kill them all at the same time. You don't want a Slayer going nuts and going Bobo keys with his XP. That'll be a sad story indeed if he does that on the final boss. But I'll get to that when we get there. But for this, you just keep running back. You'll see I lose my buff, and I run back to Janice, get the buff back, And then when your HP gets low, run back to the crystal. The healer really shouldn't even have to heal at this part unless, you know, some kind of emergency, like 4 people kill a thing at the same time and everything goes nuts. But yep, just keep repeating until all of these things are done and the pesticides can't get to the center. You see those little roly orbs, those blue orbs? You just keep killing these things that are in their way so that they can get to the center. I'm actually going to speed this up real quick. Okay, yeah, so we keep it up until these all these mobs go down. And then we will move on towards the final boss, which is Nighthog. Or something or other, something like that. Nobody should really die unless you mess up. And keep in mind, you might want to watch your party window. And if somebody is about to die, please don't be that guy and kill the Nighthog, Broodling or whatever it's called, because it does do 5k when it dies. Okay, and when you finish that room, you run ahead to this little valve. And it tells you if you have enough, depending on how long you took to do the whole instance. It will tell you if you have enough, and if you don't, you have to go back all the way to that water elemental room and fill that back up by killing the water elementals. If you do not have enough, you need 70 out of 100, and I believe 1 drains per minute. So if you can get to that point in 30 minutes, then you're golden, and if not, then you gotta go all the way back and do that. Okay, and I just skipped that part ahead because you've already seen that. And we are now at the final boss room. Now you'll see here is Yggdrasil, or whatever her name is. And she will give you a buff that heals you and gives you defenses and whatnot, and it's pretty awesome. And these 4 portals will spawn, and they will go towards the center to try and kill her. And if she dies, you lose, and if she dies, you lose. So you don't want her to die. You want to protect her. And it's pretty simple the first few waves, but when it starts spawning those brood of Nighthog or whatever they're called, the ones that you just killed in the previous room, you really want to be careful as a whole not to kill multiple of those at the same time. And once again, if you do see that somebody in your group is about to die, please stop DPS on that one Nighthog that you're on. But yeah, especially if you're a Slayer, be careful with your XP, because you can do a lot of damage with that if you time it wrong. The other classes should be fine as long as you don't kill 5 of them at the same time. Everyone should live, as you should have your healer healing you, as well as Yggdrasil healing you. But yeah, mobs just keep spawning out of those, and that's really all you got to be careful of is those broodlings, or Nighthog broodling. I don't know what they're called. The things that kind of look like snakes, sort of. Those guys you want to be careful of. Okay, with that being said, I'm just going to skip ahead to where the boss spawns. Now, this guy is actually the easy part. If you make it past those waves of his broods, then you should have a pretty easy win. I mean, he does AoE pretty decently, nothing too serious, but good luck. I mean, that's about it. This fight is basically a gimme. It's pretty simple. He doesn't do too much except AoE, and he drops these seeds, or these little orbs, purity, I don't know. I killed them because I think they slow down the fairies that spawn in a second. And the fairies that spawn in a second are pretty awesome, so I like killing them. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it helps the fairies, but I'm not 100% sure, because the fairies still do their business even if you don't kill those. But I do it anyways, just because. So you're going to see in a second all the fairies spawn, and then Nighthog will die shortly after. And also, you are on a timer, so the faster you're able to down the instance, the better drops I do believe that you will get. So good luck, guys. That's all for World Tree, and I wish you luck on your F Pro techs and deity levels. Good luck.